Your future is not built by big decisions. It is built by the small things you repeat every day. Think about your normal life for a second. Most people wake up, check their phone, rush into the day, deal with problems, talk to people, get tired, and go to sleep. Then the same routine starts again tomorrow. Weeks pass, months pass. Life moves forward, but inside many people feel stuck. Have you ever felt that you want to grow? You want more control over your life. You want a calmer mind, better habits, and a stronger version of yourself. But the big question is always the same. Where do I even start? The truth is simple and powerful at the same time. Real change does not begin with a huge step. It begins with very small habits that quietly shape the way you think, act, and live every single day. The way you handle stress, the way you talk to yourself, the way you learn from mistakes. In this video, you will discover 10 small habits that can slowly change your mindset, your discipline, and the direction of your life. Stay with me, because one of these habits might change how you live starting today. Chapter 1. Take a quiet moment each morning to notice your thoughts. Morning arrives before the noise of the world begins. The sun slowly pushes light through the window. The air feels calm. The house is quiet. Most people rush past this moment without noticing it. They reach for their phone. They rush into the day. Their mind fills with other people's opinions before their own thoughts even have a chance to speak. But a life that changes forever begins with something small. It begins with a quiet moment each morning to notice your thoughts. Human life is shaped by what happens inside the mind. Every action first begins as a thought. Every decision first begins as a small voice inside the head. Most people never stop long enough to hear that voice clearly. They wake up and immediately allow the world to take control of their attention. The mind becomes crowded very quickly. Messages, demands from other people, the day begins and the mind becomes busy, before the person even understands how they truly feel. This is why a quiet moment in the morning has power. When the day begins and the mind is still fresh, there is an opportunity. The mind is open. The thoughts are honest. The emotions are clear. This is the moment when a person can step back and observe what is really happening inside. Sit for a moment, breathe slowly. Notice what your mind is saying. Some mornings the mind feels hopeful. There is excitement about the day. Energy moves through the body. The mind begins to imagine progress and success. Other mornings the mind feels heavy. Worry appears. Doubt whispers quietly. Thoughts about problems from yesterday appear again. Both experiences are normal. Both experiences are part of being human. They run from one task to the next, without understanding what is happening inside their own mind. A person who changes their life learns to become aware of their own thinking. Awareness creates power. When a person notices their thoughts, they begin to understand themselves. They begin to recognize patterns. They see the difference between helpful thoughts and harmful thoughts. Without awareness, the mind simply This quiet moment in the morning is not about perfection. It is not about forcing positive thinking. It is about honesty. It is about looking directly at what is happening inside. Notice the thoughts that appear first. Some people wake up with worry about money. Some people wake up thinking about work problems. Some people wake up feeling pressure about responsibilities. These thoughts often appear automatically because the mind has repeated them many times before. But the quiet morning moment allows a person to pause before these thoughts take control of the entire day. When you notice a thought, you gain distance from it. You begin to see that a thought is not the same as truth. A thought is simply something that appeared in the mind. The mind produces many thoughts every day. Some of them are helpful. Some of them are not. A strong life begins when a person chooses which thoughts deserve attention. Sit quietly and observe. Notice the rhythm of your breathing. Feel the calm air entering your lungs. Feel the body slowly waking up. Feel the gentle warmth of the morning light. The mind may try to wander. That is normal. Simply notice where it goes. Notice what subjects appear. Notice what emotions follow those thoughts. Maybe the mind moves toward worry. Maybe it moves toward plans. Maybe it moves toward memories. Just observe. This simple act builds a powerful skill. The skill is self-awareness. Most people spend their entire life reacting to their thoughts without ever examining them. A small habit of morning awareness changes that pattern. A person who observes their thoughts begins to understand what motivates them. They begin to recognize the fears that hold them back. They begin to see the beliefs that guide their choices. This understanding creates the possibility for change. Think about the direction of a day. If the first thoughts of the morning are negative and rushed, then the day begins with stress. The body becomes tense. The mind becomes impatient. Small problems quickly feel larger than they are. But when the morning begins with a quiet moment of observation, something different happens. The mind slows down, clarity appears. A person begins the day with awareness instead of confusion. This small difference changes the quality of decisions. It changes the way a person speaks. It changes the way a person responds to challenges. When you notice your thoughts in the morning, you also gain the opportunity to guide them. After observing what the mind is saying, ask a simple question. What kind of thinking will help me today? Maybe the mind is focusing on fear. In that moment, you can gently redirect it toward preparation. Instead of worrying about a challenge, you begin thinking about how to handle it step by step. Maybe the mind is thinking about past mistakes. Instead of replaying regret, you shift attention toward improvement. The quiet morning moment becomes the place where direction is chosen. Many people search for major changes in life. They search for dramatic strategies. They search for powerful secrets. But the truth is that life changes through daily habits. Small, repeated actions shape the mind over time. Taking a quiet moment each morning may seem simple. It may even seem too small to matter, but small habits repeated every day create powerful long-term results. Think about the mind as a garden. Every day thoughts grow inside it. Some thoughts help the garden grow strong. Other thoughts slowly damage it. When a person never stops to observe the garden, weeds grow freely. Over time they spread. But a person who pauses each morning becomes the caretaker of the garden. They notice what is growing. They remove harmful thoughts. They encourage useful thinking. Over weeks and months, the mental environment becomes stronger and clearer. This habit also builds emotional strength. When a person understands their own thoughts, they become less controlled by sudden emotions. Frustration no longer surprises them. Fear no longer overwhelms them. They recognize these emotions early. They see them forming. They respond calmly, instead of reacting quickly. Calm thinking improves relationships. Calm thinking improves work decisions. Calm thinking improves health. All of this begins with a quiet moment each morning. Imagine beginning the day with clarity instead of chaos. Imagine feeling steady instead of rushed. Imagine recognizing your thoughts before they control your mood. This is not complicated. It does not require special tools. It only requires a few minutes and honest attention. Wake up, sit quietly, notice your thoughts. Listen carefully to what your mind is saying. Then gently guide your thinking toward the direction you want your life to move. Day after day, this habit builds a deeper understanding of yourself. It strengthens the ability to choose your responses. It improves the quality of your actions. Over time, people will notice something different about you. Your reactions will feel calmer. Your decisions will feel more thoughtful. Your words will carry more confidence. But the change did not. It began with a quiet moment each morning when you decided to notice your thoughts. That small habit may appear simple, yet it quietly reshapes the entire direction of a life. Chapter 2. Write what truly matters today before distractions take control. The day begins, and the world immediately starts asking for your attention. Messages appear on the phone. News headlines try to pull you in. Emails begin to arrive. Social media fills the screen with endless opinions. People at work begin asking questions. Responsibilities begin stacking up. The modern day, it begins loudly. Most people walk directly into that noise, without preparation. Their attention is pulled in many directions. Their mind reacts to whatever appears first. Hours pass and they suddenly realize the day is almost gone. Yet the things that truly matter have barely received any attention. This is how many lives slowly drift away from their real priorities. A powerful before distractions take control. Write down what truly matters today. This action may appear simple. A pen, a small piece of paper, a few clear words. But behind this habit is a powerful shift in human behavior. Human attention is limited. The mind can only focus deeply on a few things at a time. When attention is not directed deliberately, it becomes scattered. When attention becomes scattered, progress slows down. Important goals get pushed aside by smaller, urgent tasks. Many people spend their days reacting instead of leading. Writing down what truly matters today changes the role you play in your own life. You move from reaction to direction. The act of writing is important. Thinking alone is not enough. Thoughts move quickly through the mind, they appear. The moment the world begins demanding attention, those thoughts vanish, but writing creates commitment. When words are placed on paper, the mind treats them differently. The goal becomes visible. The intention becomes real. The brain begins organizing effort around those written words. Take a moment early in the day before outside voices enter your mind. Sit quietly with a notebook or a simple sheet of paper. Ask yourself one clear question. What truly matters today? Not 10 tasks, not 20 obligations, just the few actions that move your life forward. Many people confuse activity with progress. They fill the day with busy movement, yet the results remain small. Real progress often comes from focusing deeply on only a few meaningful actions. When you write what truly matters, you create focus. Look, maybe what matters today is finishing an important piece of work that you have delayed for weeks. The task may feel uncomfortable, it may require effort, but completing it moves your life in the right direction. Maybe what matters today is giving time to your health. Your body has been asking for attention. Energy feels lower than it should. Taking action today builds strength for the future. Maybe a conversation needs to happen. Appreciation needs to be expressed. Time needs to be shared with someone who is important in your life. These moments matter far more than many small distractions that steal attention every day. Writing your priorities in the morning protects them from being forgotten. When distractions arrive later, you already know what deserves your best energy. Distractions are powerful because they create the illusion of urgency. A message appears and the brain reacts immediately. A notification sounds and curiosity pulls attention away. A small request from someone else suddenly feels more important than your own goals. Without written priorities, the mind easily follows these interruptions. But when you have clearly written what matters, something changes inside your thinking. You become aware when a distraction tries to take control. You recognize the difference between important work and temporary noise. A written priority becomes a guide throughout the day. At different moments, you can glance at the page and ask yourself a simple question. Am I moving toward what matters or drifting away from it? This question alone can redirect an entire day. There is another powerful psychological effect behind writing your daily priorities. It creates emotional clarity. Many people carry quiet stress because they feel pulled in many directions at once. Their mind holds dozens of unfinished responsibilities. They try to remember everything at the same time. The result is mental pressure, but when the most meaningful actions are written down, the mind relaxes. The brain no longer needs to juggle endless reminders. The path forward becomes visible. Clarity reduces stress. Clarity increases confidence. When you know what deserves your attention, you stop wasting energy worrying about everything else. Another important element of this habit is honesty. Sometimes the mind tries to avoid the tasks that create the most progress. The brain naturally prefers comfort. It prefers easy actions that provide quick satisfaction. Checking messages feels easier than working on a difficult project. Scrolling through updates feels easier than having an important conversation. Organizing small tasks feels easier than confronting a major goal. But honest writing forces you to face reality. When you ask yourself what truly matters, the answer often points toward actions that require courage and discipline. You may notice resistance inside your mind when writing those priorities. That resistance is normal. Growth rarely feels comfortable at the beginning, but writing those actions anyway strengthens your character. It trains the mind to move toward progress instead of away from it. Once the priorities are written, the next step is simple but powerful. Protect time for them. The early hours of the day usually carry the strongest mental energy. The brain is fresh, focus is easier, creativity flows more freely. Use this energy for what matters most. If you allow distractions to consume the early hours, you give away your best thinking time to things that produce little long-term value. But when you begin with your written priorities, you invest your strongest energy where it creates the greatest return. Imagine completing your most meaningful task before the noise of the day becomes overwhelming. Imagine finishing something important while your mind still feels clear and focused. That feeling creates momentum. Momentum builds confidence. Confidence encourages even stronger action. Another benefit of writing what matters is accountability with yourself. At the end of the day, you can look back at the page and see the truth. Did you give your attention to the things that matter, or did distractions quietly steal your time? This simple reflection strengthens discipline. The mind begins learning that priorities are not just words. They are commitments. Over time, this habit reshapes the relationship between you and your time. Instead of feeling controlled by daily demands, you begin directing your attention with intention. Life slowly becomes more organized around purpose. The most successful individuals often share one common behavior. They are extremely clear about what deserves their attention. They do not treat every task equally. They understand that a few meaningful actions produce. Writing down what truly matters each day trains your mind to think this way. You begin identifying high-value actions more quickly. You begin protecting your attention from unnecessary interruptions. Your days start to feel more productive without becoming more stressful. People around you may notice the difference. Your work becomes more consistent. Your decisions become more focused. Your conversations. But this transformation does not require complex systems or advanced strategies. It begins with a pen and a few honest words written early in the morning. Another powerful aspect of this habit is emotional satisfaction. Completing something that truly matters creates a deep sense of accomplishment. The mind recognizes that the day was meaningful. This feeling is very different from the empty satisfaction of completing dozens of small, trivial tasks. When you finish something important, you feel proud of your effort. Your confidence grows quietly. You begin trusting yourself more, and when a person trusts themselves, they become capable of much greater achievements. This habit also builds resilience. There will be days when plans change, unexpected problems will appear. Not every priority will be completed exactly as expected. But the habit of writing what matters still provides direction. Even when the day becomes challenging, you remain connected to your purpose. You do not feel completely lost in chaos because you already know what deserves your attention. This sense of direction is powerful for the human mind. A person with direction feels stronger in the face of obstacles. A person without direction easily becomes overwhelmed. Every morning offers a new opportunity to choose direction again. Before the world begins speaking loudly into your mind, take a moment to write what truly matters. Write it clearly, look at the words, commit to giving those actions your best attention. Then step into the day knowing that your focus. Distractions may still appear, interruptions may still happen. The world will continue demanding attention, But you will carry something stronger. You will carry clarity, and clarity has the power to guide an entire life toward meaningful progress, one day at a time. Chapter 3. Read something meaningful that challenges the way you think. A human life grows or shrinks based on the ideas that enter the mind. Every decision you make comes from the way you think. The way you think is shaped by the information you allow into your head. If a person wants a better life, they must allow better ideas to reach their thinking. Most people stop learning too early. School ends and many minds slowly close. Days become predictable. Years pass while the same thoughts repeat again and again. When the mind repeats the same thoughts, it begins to believe that its current understanding of the world is complete. That belief is dangerous because it quietly stops growth. The world changes. Opportunities change. Problems change. A mind that refuses to learn becomes less capable with every passing year. A powerful daily habit prevents this decline. Read something meaningful that challenges the way you think. The key word is meaningful. Many people read information every day, but very little of it strengthens their thinking. Endless headlines fill the screen. Short posts appear and disappear quickly. Most of this content is designed to capture attention for a few seconds and then vanish. The mind consumes large amounts of information, but learns very little from it. Meaningful reading is different. It invites the mind to slow down. It presents ideas that require reflection. It introduces perspectives that may feel unfamiliar at first. Meaningful reading stretches the mind. When you read a thoughtful book or a serious article, you enter another person's understanding of life. You see the world through their experience. You encounter ideas that you may have never considered before. This experience is powerful for human psychology. A person who only listens to their own thoughts lives inside a very small mental space. But a person who reads widely begins to explore many ways of thinking. Their mind becomes flexible. Their understanding becomes deeper. The most successful individuals throughout history have shared one. They remained students of life for as long as they lived. They read constantly. They searched for wisdom in the experiences of others. They respected the value of knowledge that had been earned through years of effort. Reading allowed them to learn lessons without paying the full price of those lessons themselves. Think about the incredible opportunity that exists in a book. A writer may spend 20 or 30 years learning about business leadership, health, or personal discipline. They may experience failure, success, struggle, and discovery. Then they collect the most important lessons and place them into several hundred pages. When you read those pages, you receive decades of experience within a few hours. Very few habits provide such a powerful return on time. But reading only becomes transformative when the material challenges your thinking. If a person only reads ideas they already agree with, their mind remains comfortable but unchanged. Growth begins when the mind meets new perspectives. You may open a book and encounter an idea that feels uncomfortable. The writer may question a belief that you have carried for many years. The argument may feel surprising or even frustrating. This moment is extremely valuable. Discomfort in thinking often means that the mind has reached the edge of its current understanding. A new idea is pushing against old beliefs. Many people close the book when this happens. They return to familiar information that feels safe. But a person committed to growth stays with the challenge. They read carefully. They examine the new idea honestly. They ask themselves important questions. Is there truth here that I have never? What if this perspective reveals something important about my life? These questions create intellectual growth. The mind begins to expand. When the brain processes new information, it builds new connections between ideas. These connections increase creativity. They improve problem-solving ability. They strengthen judgment. A person who reads meaningful material regularly develops sharper thinking. Decisions become wiser. The ability to analyze situations improves dramatically. Another important effect of meaningful reading is emotional maturity. Books often explore the inner experiences of human life. They examine struggle, hope, courage, discipline, and responsibility. Through reading, you observe how others handle difficult situations. You learn how people think during moments of challenge. You see how different choices lead to different outcomes. This observation quietly builds emotional intelligence. You begin recognizing patterns in human behavior. You understand motivations more clearly. Your empathy grows stronger. When you encounter similar situations in your own life, you respond with greater awareness. Meaningful reading also strengthens patience. The modern world moves quickly. Short messages dominate communication. Information arrives in fragments. Attention jumps rapidly from one topic to another. Books invite the mind to slow down again. Reading a thoughtful chapter requires concentration. It requires the mind to stay present with one idea for several minutes, or even longer. This practice rebuilds the ability to focus deeply. Deep focus is becoming a rare skill in the modern world. Yet it remains one of the most valuable abilities a person can develop. When you train your attention through reading, you become capable of concentrating on complex tasks for longer periods. Work improves, learning accelerates, creative thinking becomes easier. The benefits continue to grow over time. Reading also strengthens confidence. A person who regularly absorbs meaningful ideas develops a strong inner foundation. Their opinions are not built on shallow information. Their beliefs come from careful reflection. When they speak, they carry quiet authority because their understanding is supported by knowledge. This does not create arrogance. Instead, it creates calm confidence. You know that your thinking is supported by careful study and thoughtful consideration. Another powerful aspect of reading is perspective. Life sometimes feels overwhelming because problems appear large when viewed from a narrow angle. But reading introduces the mind to many different lives and experiences. You learn about people who faced serious obstacles and still moved forward. You read about individuals who built great achievements through patience and discipline. These stories reshape your perspective. Challenges no longer appear impossible. Difficult moments become part of a larger journey rather than permanent defeat. Reading reminds the mind that human potential is much greater than temporary setbacks. This realization strengthens resilience. When a person knows that growth is possible, they approach problems with determination instead of discouragement. The daily habit of reading does not require long hours. Even a small amount of focused reading every day creates powerful results over time. 10 pages each day may not feel significant in the moment, but consider the effect over an entire year. 10 pages daily becomes more than 3,000 pages in 12 months. That is the equivalent of many complete books filled with ideas, knowledge, and lessons. Those ideas gradually, your understanding of life expands steadily. The key is consistency. Reading occasionally provides inspiration, but daily reading creates transformation. Choose material carefully. Look for books that explore real ideas. Look for writers who present thoughtful analysis rather than quick entertainment. Look for authors who respect the intelligence of the reader. Allow yourself time to reflect while reading. When an idea stands out, pause for a moment. Consider how it applies to your own life. Imagine how your decisions might improve if you adopted that principle. Reflection turns information into wisdom. Some readers keep a small notebook nearby. When a sentence feels powerful, they write it down. Writing reinforces the idea in memory. It gives the mind another chance to examine the thought carefully. Over time, these collected ideas become a personal library of wisdom. The influence of meaningful reading extends beyond individual improvement. A person who reads widely often becomes a source of insight for others. Their conversations introduce thoughtful perspectives. Their advice carries depth. Their presence encourages learning. Families benefit from this influence. Workplaces benefit from this influence. Communities benefit from this influence. Knowledge shared with others multiplies its value. Imagine the long-term impact of a life built on thoughtful reading. Years pass and the mind becomes rich with understanding. Ideas from many authors combine into a unique personal philosophy. Decisions become guided by careful reasoning rather than impulse. This growth does not appear suddenly. It develops slowly through daily exposure to meaningful ideas. Each page read today adds another piece to the structure of your thinking. Each chapter deepens your understanding of human behavior. Each book introduces new possibilities for your future. A person who commits to reading meaningful material is making an investment in the most important resource they possess: their mind. Your mind is the source of every achievement you will ever create. It is the place where goals are formed, plans are designed, and actions are chosen. Strengthening that mind is one of the most valuable choices you can make. Open a book that challenges your thinking. Allow new ideas to enter your awareness. Consider them carefully. Let them stretch your understanding. Then carry those insights. Chapter 4. Move your body daily to release stress and clear your mind. The human body was not designed to remain still for long periods. It was built for motion. Muscles were created to stretch and contract. The lungs were meant to breathe deeply. The heart was designed to beat with strength and rhythm as the body moves through space. Yet many people live most of their days sitting. They sit while working, they sit while eating, they sit while driving, they sit while looking at screens late into the evening. Hours pass while the body remains quiet and stiff. At first this may not seem serious. Life feels busy. Work requires attention. Responsibilities fill the schedule. Movement slowly disappears from daily life without much thought. But the body always keeps a record of how it is treated. When movement disappears, the body begins to carry stress differently. Muscles become tight. Breathing becomes shallow. Energy begins to feel heavy instead of alive. At the same time, the mind begins to feel crowded. Stress from work builds quietly. Unfinished responsibilities linger in the background. Thoughts repeat themselves throughout the day. The body and the mind are deeply connected. When one suffers, the other follows. A simple daily habit can change this pattern in a powerful way. Move your body every day to release stress and clear your mind. This habit does not require expensive equipment or complicated routines. It does not require perfect athletic ability. The goal is simple and deeply human. Movement wakes up the body. It brings fresh energy into the muscles. It increases circulation. Blood begins to travel through the body with stronger rhythm. When circulation improves, the brain receives more oxygen. The mind begins to feel lighter and more alert. You may notice this change even after a short walk. At first, the body feels stiff, the legs feel slow. The mind may still be holding tension from the day, but after several minutes something begins to shift. Your breathing deepens. Your shoulders relax slightly. Your thoughts become quieter. The simple act of walking or stretching begins to remove pressure that has been building inside your body. Stress is not only a mental experience, it also lives in the muscle. Think about how your body reacts during a difficult moment. Your jaw tightens. Your shoulders lift. Your neck becomes stiff. Your stomach may feel uncomfortable. These physical reactions are signals that the body is holding tension. If that tension is not released, it begins to accumulate. Day after day, the body carries it quietly. Movement gives the body a safe way to release this stored pressure. When you move your muscles, they begin to loosen. The body shifts from a state of tension into a state of activity. The brain also releases chemicals during movement that improve mood and calm the nervous system. After exercise, many people notice that their worries feel smaller. Problems that seemed overwhelming earlier suddenly appear manageable. Movement changes the emotional environment inside the body. Another powerful benefit of daily movement is mental clarity. Many people try to solve their problems while sitting still at a desk. They stare at the same page. They repeat the same thoughts. The mind becomes tired and stuck. But the brain often finds solutions during physical activity. When the body moves, the mind begins to organize thoughts differently. New connections appear between ideas. Creative thinking becomes easier. This is why many people experience sudden insights while walking or exercising. The body moves forward, and the mind begins to move forward as well. A daily habit of movement also builds discipline. Discipline is not created through large, dramatic actions. It grows through small, consistent choices. Choosing to move your body each day teaches your mind an important lesson. You learn that your health deserves attention. You learn that caring for your body is not optional. It is part of respecting yourself. Over time, this mindset spreads into other areas of life. When you build discipline in one habit, it becomes easier to build discipline in others. Movement also improves energy. Many people believe that resting will restore their energy. Rest is important, but too much stillness often produces the opposite result. When the body remains inactive for long periods, circulation slows down, muscles become weak, the brain receives less stimulation. Energy levels drop. Movement acts like a natural reset button. Even a short session of physical activity wakes up the entire system. The heart beats faster, oxygen flows through the body. Muscles begin working together again. After movement, the body often feels more alive than before. This increased energy supports better performance throughout the day. Work becomes easier. Focus improves. Patience increases. Your physical state influences how you experience every part of life. Movement also strengthens resilience. Physical challenges teach the mind how to endure discomfort. When you push through a difficult workout, you develop mental toughness. Your legs may feel tired. Your breathing may feel intense. Yet you continue moving forward. This experience reminds you that effort leads to growth. Later, when life presents emotional or professional challenges, your mind remembers that feeling of persistence. You understand that temporary discomfort is not something to fear. It is part of progress. Daily movement also improves sleep. The body naturally prepares for rest when it has been active during the day. Muscles relax more deeply at night. The mind settles faster. Quality sleep restores mental clarity and emotional balance. Without proper sleep, stress accumulates quickly. Irritation increases. Focus becomes weak. Movement supports healthier sleep patterns, which support a healthier mind. Another powerful benefit is self-respect. When you care for your body through daily movement, you send a clear message to yourself. You matter, your health matters, your future matters. This message builds confidence quietly. It reminds you that you are capable of making choices that strengthen your life. You begin to see yourself as a person who takes action instead of waiting for motivation. The form of movement does not need to be complicated. Some people enjoy walking through a quiet neighborhood while the morning air feels fresh against their skin. Others prefer lifting weights that challenge their strength and awaken their muscles. Some people choose stretching exercises that loosen the body and improve flexibility. Others enjoy running outdoors where the rhythm of footsteps creates a steady flow of energy. The important element is consistency. Your body responds to regular care. Occasional activity cannot replace daily attention. Even 20 minutes of movement can produce meaningful benefits. During that time, you allow your body to work the way it was designed to work. Your muscles engage. Your lungs expand. Your heart pumps with healthy rhythm. Your mind begins to quiet down. Many people also notice an emotional shift after moving their body. Frustration decreases. Patience increases. Confidence grows. Movement reminds you that you are alive and capable. It reconnects you with your physical strength. In a world where many activities happen through screens, this connection becomes especially valuable. Daily movement brings you back into your body. You feel the ground beneath your feet. You feel your muscles working. You feel your breath moving in and out. These sensations ground your awareness in the present moment. When the mind becomes present, stress loses much of its power. Worry often comes from imagining problems in the future or replaying mistakes from the past. Movement brings attention back to the present experience. Step by step, breath by breath, muscle by muscle, the mind becomes calmer because it focuses on what is happening now. Over time, this habit creates lasting change. Your body becomes stronger, your posture improves, your breathing becomes deeper, your mind handles pressure more calmly. People around you may notice the difference in your energy and attitude. But the transformation does not require dramatic effort. It grows quietly through the decision to move every day. Give your body the activity it needs. Allow your muscles to work. Allow your breathing to expand. Allow stress to leave your system through motion. With each step, each stretch, and each moment of effort, you clear space in your mind and strengthen the foundation of your health. A strong body supports a strong mind, and a strong mind supports a powerful life. Chapter 5. Drink water often, and pay attention to how you feel. Your body speaks to you every day. It sends signals about energy, comfort, hunger, fatigue, focus, and mood. These signals appear quietly through sensations in your body and through shifts in your emotions. Most people move through their day without noticing these messages. They rush from task to task, drink whatever is convenient, eat whatever is available, and ignore the small signs their body gives them. Yet the human body depends on one simple element more than almost anything else. Watery system inside you relies on it. Your brain uses it to function clearly. Your blood uses it to carry oxygen and nutrients. Your muscles depend on it to move smoothly. Your organs require it to perform their daily work. Without enough water, the body struggles in ways that are easy to overlook. Fatigue appears sooner than expected. Focus becomes weaker. Small irritations feel stronger. The mind becomes cloudy. The body begins to feel heavy. Many people search for complicated solutions when their energy drops. They add more caffeine. They try to push harder. They blame stress or lack of sleep. Often the body is simply asking for water. A small daily habit can quietly improve the way you feel throughout the entire day. Drink water often and pay attention to how you feel. This habit may sound simple, yet it connects you with your body in a deeper way. Many people drink only when strong thirst appears. By the time thirst becomes intense, the body is already working harder than it should. Hydration works best when it happens consistently throughout the day. A glass of water in the morning gently wakes the body. After several hours of sleep, your system has gone a long time without fluid. Drinking water early helps circulation begin smoothly. It prepares the brain for clear thinking. You may notice that your mind feels more alert within minutes. Throughout the day, small moments of drinking water continue supporting your body. Your mouth feels refreshed. Your breathing feels lighter. Your head feels clearer. These changes may appear subtle at first, but over time they create noticeable improvements in energy and mood. The second part of this habit is just as important as the water itself. Pay attention to how you feel. Many people treat their body like a machine that should simply keep working without attention. They ignore signals of fatigue or discomfort until those signals become impossible to ignore. But the body prefers cooperation instead of neglect. When you drink water, slowly notice what changes inside you. Notice the sensation of cool water moving through your throat. Notice the calm feeling as your body receives what it needs. Pay attention to your level of energy. Does your head feel clearer after drinking? Does your focus improve? Does your body feel more relaxed? These observations build awareness. Awareness strengthens the connection between your mind and your physical state. Instead of moving through the day automatically, you begin to understand how your daily choices influence your well-being. This understanding becomes powerful over time. Many people discover that small habits create big differences in how they experience life. Water helps regulate body temperature. It supports digestion. It allows nutrients from food to travel through the bloodstream. Without enough hydration, even simple activities become more difficult for the body. Muscles may feel tight. The skin may feel dry. Headaches may appear unexpectedly. These discomforts are often quiet requests from the body asking for care. Drinking water regularly answers those requests before they grow into larger problems. Another important effect of hydration is emotional stability. The brain is sensitive to changes in the body's internal balance. When hydration drops, the brain may struggle to maintain steady concentration. Mood can shift more quickly. Patience may become shorter. A person might feel irritated without understanding why. Restoring hydration often brings the nervous system back into balance. Calm returns. Focus becomes easier again. This is why paying attention to how you feel after drinking water becomes valuable. It teaches you how closely your physical state influences your emotions. Many people believe that their feelings are caused only by external situations, but internal conditions inside the body play a major role in emotional experience. Taking care of the body improves the mind. The act of drinking water also creates small moments of pause during the day. When life becomes busy, people move quickly from one task to the next. The mind remains active without rest. Stress slowly accumulates. A simple pause to drink water allows a brief reset. You stop moving for a moment. You take a breath. You give your body something essential. These short breaks create space for calm thinking. Over time, these pauses protect your mental clarity throughout the day. Hydration also supports physical endurance. When the body has enough fluid, muscles move more smoothly. Blood circulates efficiently. Oxygen travels easily through the system. Whether you are walking, exercising, working, or studying, your body performs better when hydration levels remain stable. You may notice that tasks feel less exhausting. Energy remains steady longer. Fatigue arrives later in the day. These benefits may not appear dramatic in a single moment, but when repeated daily, they accumulate into meaningful improvements in overall health. Paying attention to how you feel also encourages respect for your body. Many people treat their body as something separate from themselves. They push it beyond its limits and only notice it when pain appears. But the body deserves partnership. When you listen carefully to its signals, you develop a deeper appreciation for how hard it works every day. Your heart beats thousands of times each hour. Your lungs move air continuously. Your brain processes enormous amounts of information. All of these systems depend on basic care. Water is one of the simplest forms of that care. This habit also strengthens mindfulness. Mindfulness means noticing the present moment without rushing through it. Drinking water with awareness encourages this mindset. You feel the glass in your hand, you notice the cool temperature. You experience the refreshment as the water moves through your body. These small sensations reconnect you with the present moment. When the mind stays present, stress from the past and worry about the future lose some of their influence. Calm attention becomes easier to maintain. Hydration can also improve the quality of sleep. When the body maintains proper balance throughout the day, it prepares for rest more easily at night. Muscles relax more comfortably. The nervous system settles. Better sleep supports stronger focus and emotional stability the next day. The habit of drinking water, therefore, influences many areas of life at once: physical energy, mental clarity, emotional balance. Daily comfort. Another benefit appears when this habit becomes routine. You begin noticing patterns in how your body responds to different situations. You may discover that your concentration improves when you stay hydrated during long work sessions. You may notice that headaches disappear when you drink water regularly. You may feel calmer during stressful moments when your body receives steady care. These discoveries build trust in your own awareness. You learn that small choices matter. You realize that taking care of yourself does not require complicated solutions. Often it begins with something as simple as a glass of water, and a moment of attention. Many people search outside themselves for ways to improve their life, but some of the most powerful improvements begin with listening to the body you already have. Drink water often. Notice how your body responds. Respect the signals your system sends. Over time, this habit builds a quiet foundation of health and awareness. Your mind becomes clearer. Your energy becomes steadier. Your body feels supported instead of ignored. These changes may appear small at first, but when repeated day after day, they create a powerful shift in how you experience your life. A well-cared-for body becomes a reliable partner in everything you do, and that partnership begins with simple attention and a steady flow of water. Chapter 6. Pause before reacting and choose calm, thoughtful responses. Every day, life places you in situations that test your patience. A coworker may speak in a way that feels disrespectful. A family member may misunderstand your intentions. A stranger may behave rudely. An unexpected problem may appear in the middle of a busy schedule. In these moments, the human mind reacts very quickly. Emotions rise almost instantly. The heart beats faster. Muscles tighten. Words rush forward before careful thinking has time to appear. This quick reaction is part of human nature. The brain is built to respond fast when it senses tension or conflict. Long ago, this helped people survive dangerous situations. Immediate reactions protected them from threats. But in modern life, many of the challenges people face are not physical threats. They are conversations, disagreements, misunderstandings, and stressful situations that require thoughtful handling. When reactions happen too quickly, they often create problems that did not need to exist. A harsh reply, spoken in anger, can damage a relationship. An impatient response can increase conflict. A moment of frustration can lead to regret that lasts much longer than the original problem. A powerful habit can prevent many of these outcomes. Pause before reacting and choose calm, thoughtful responses. The pause may last only a few seconds, yet those few seconds give the mind time to shift from emotion into awareness. Imagine a moment when someone says something that irritates you. Your first impulse may be to respond immediately. The words form quickly. Your voice may feel tense. Your face may become serious. Instead of releasing that reaction, immediately take a short pause. Breathe slowly. Allow the first wave of emotion to pass through you without acting on it. This brief pause changes the entire situation. When you pause, the emotional center of the brain begins to settle. At the same time, the part of the mind responsible for reasoning becomes active again. Clear thinking returns. You begin to examine the situation more carefully. Is the other person truly trying to offend you, or are they simply having a difficult day? Is the problem as serious as it first appeared? Will a calm response create a better outcome than a sharp reaction? These questions cannot appear when emotion controls the moment. They require a pause. The pause protects you from unnecessary conflict. It also protects your dignity. When people react impulsively, they often say things that do not reflect their true values. Anger may produce words that feel satisfying in the moment but painful afterward. Calm responses come from a different place inside the mind. They reflect the person you truly want to be. Pausing allows you to choose that version of yourself. This habit requires practice because emotions can be powerful. When something feels unfair or disrespectful, the urge to react quickly becomes strong. But remember that reacting immediately gives your power away. When someone else controls your emotions, they control your behavior. The pause returns control to you. It reminds you that you decide how to respond. This awareness builds emotional strength. Over time, you begin to notice that situations which once caused instant frustration now feel easier to handle. You become less reactive and more deliberate. Your voice remains steady. Your words carry clarity instead of tension. People often respond differently when they encounter calm energy. A heated situation can soften when one person remains composed. Your calm presence may even encourage others to slow down and think more carefully about their own words. Another benefit of this habit is improved relationships. Many disagreements escalate because both people react without reflection. Each comment increases tension. Each defensive reply adds more pressure to the conversation. But when one person pauses before responding, the entire interaction can change direction. Instead of replying with anger, you may ask a question. Instead of criticizing, you may explain your perspective calmly. Instead of escalating the conflict, you may guide the conversation toward understanding. These responses create space for resolution instead of hostility. People feel respected when they are heard and treated with patience. Even during disagreement, calm communication shows maturity. Respect builds trust. Trust strengthens relationships. This habit also improves decision-making. Life often presents choices during moments of pressure. Someone may demand an answer quickly. A situation may feel urgent. Your emotions may push you toward immediate action. Pausing before reacting allows you to examine the consequences of your choice. You may ask yourself important questions. What result will this response create? Will it solve the problem or create more difficulty? Does this action reflect the person I want to become? These reflections lead to wiser decisions. Calm thinking produces better outcomes than rushed emotion. The pause also protects your inner peace. When people react impulsively, they often carry the emotional weight of that reaction long after the situation ends. Regret appears. Embarrassment appears. They replay the moment in their mind, wishing they had responded differently. Choosing calm responses reduces this burden. You walk away from situations feeling confident that you handled them with maturity. That confidence builds self-respect. You begin trusting your ability to remain steady even when circumstances become challenging. Another important element of this habit is listening. Pausing before responding gives you time to truly hear what the other person is saying. Many conflicts grow because people prepare their reply before the other person has finished speaking. Real listening requires attention. When you pause, you allow the other person's words to settle in your mind. You begin to understand their perspective more clearly. Understanding does not mean agreement. It simply means you see the situation through their eyes. This awareness often reveals solutions that would not appear during a heated exchange. Listening carefully also shows respect. People feel valued when they know their voice matters. A calm listener creates an environment where honest conversation becomes possible. Over time, this habit strengthens your reputation. Others begin to see you as someone who handles pressure. They trust your judgment because you do not allow emotions to control your behavior. Your presence becomes reassuring during difficult moments. Leadership often begins with emotional stability. People look for individuals who remain calm when challenges arise. They seek guidance from those who think clearly instead of reacting impulsively. The simple habit of pausing builds that quality. Another powerful effect appears inside your own mind. When you pause regularly, you become more aware of your emotional patterns. You begin noticing what situations trigger irritation or frustration. This awareness allows you to prepare for those situations in advance. You develop strategies for staying composed. You remind yourself that temporary emotions do not need to dictate permanent decisions. This understanding creates freedom. Instead of being pushed around by every emotional impulse, you become the person guiding your own behavior. Calm responses also protect your physical health. Anger and stress place pressure on the body. Heart rate increases. Blood pressure rises. Muscles tighten. When reactions happen repeatedly throughout the day, the body remains in a constant state of tension. Pausing before reacting interrupts this cycle. Breathing slowly relaxes the nervous system. The body returns to a balanced state more quickly. Over time, this reduces the physical strain caused by emotional stress. The habit of pausing may appear small, but its impact spreads across every area of life. Conversations improve, relationships strengthen, decisions become wiser, your inner world becomes calmer. This transformation does not happen overnight. At first, you may remember to pause only occasionally. Old habits of quick reaction may still appear, but each time you pause, you strengthen the new pattern. Each calm response becomes proof that you are capable of emotional control. Eventually, the pause becomes natural. Your mind automatically creates a small space between stimulus and response. Within that space lives your freedom to choose. You are no longer pushed by every emotional wave that passes through your mind. You remain steady. You remain thoughtful. You remain in control of your actions. In a world where many people react quickly and speak without reflection, this habit becomes a rare strength. It allows you to face challenges with clarity and dignity. It allows you to respond instead of react. And that small pause can quietly transform the quality of your entire life. Chapter 7. Learn one small lesson from every mistake you make. Every human being makes mistakes. No person moves through life without moments where something goes wrong. A decision fails, a plan collapses, words come out poorly, an opportunity slips away. A promise remains unfinished. These moments appear in every life, no matter how careful or intelligent a person, yet people respond to mistakes in very different ways. Some people treat mistakes as proof that something is wrong with them. They feel embarrassed. They replay the event again and again in their mind. They judge themselves harshly. Instead of learning from the experience, they carry shame and frustration. Other people treat mistakes as valuable information. They pause. They examine what happened. They ask what can be learned. They collect the lesson and move forward with greater wisdom. The difference between these two responses determines how much a person grows throughout life. A powerful habit can transform the way you deal with errors. Learn one small lesson from every mistake you make. This habit shifts the meaning of failure. Instead of seeing mistakes as personal defeat, you begin seeing them as part of the learning process. Each error becomes a teacher. Each misstep becomes a source of insight. Think about how people learn new skills. A child learning to walk falls many times before walking confidently. Someone learning to play an instrument produces many wrong notes before creating beautiful music. Mistakes are not separate from learning, they are part of it. When people forget this truth, they begin fearing mistakes. Fear then leads to hesitation. Hesitation prevents growth. But when mistakes are treated as lessons, the fear begins to disappear. You understand that every experience contains useful information. Imagine finishing a project at work that does not go as planned. Perhaps the result falls short of expectations. Maybe a detail was overlooked. Perhaps communication with others could have been clearer. Instead of becoming discouraged, pause for a moment and ask a simple question. What is one thing I can learn from this experience? The answer may be practical. You might realize that better planning could prevent similar problems in the future. You might discover that asking more questions early in the process would improve results. You might notice that certain habits of preparation strengthen your performance. Each lesson improves your approach next time. Even small insights can lead to meaningful progress. The habit of learning from mistakes also strengthens self-awareness. When something goes wrong, the mind has an opportunity to observe its own behavior. What thoughts were present during the decision? What emotions influenced your actions? Did impatience lead to rushing through an important task? Did overconfidence prevent careful preparation? Understanding these patterns helps you recognize them earlier in the future. Awareness creates the ability to adjust your behavior. Many successful individuals credit their growth to the lessons they gained through errors. Their achievements did not come from avoiding failure completely. Instead, they developed the skill of studying their experiences carefully. Every mistake became part of their education, This approach removes unnecessary shame from the process of improvement. Shame rarely produces growth. It creates discouragement and avoidance. When people feel ashamed, they often try to hide their mistakes or ignore them. Learning requires honesty. When you examine your mistakes calmly, you create space for improvement. You become curious instead of defensive. Curiosity leads to understanding. Understanding leads to progress. Another important aspect of this habit is patience. Growth does not occur instantly. Skills develop gradually through repeated effort. Mistakes are simply signs that the learning process is still active. Patience allows you to stay committed even when progress feels slow. You recognize that each lesson brings you closer to mastery. This perspective reduces frustration. Instead of expecting perfection, you focus on steady improvement. The mind becomes more resilient because setbacks no longer feel final. They become temporary steps in a longer journey. Learning from mistakes also builds humility. Humility is not weakness. It is the recognition that everyone has more to learn. A humble mind remains open to feedback. It listens carefully when others share observations. It accepts that improvement is always possible. Humility keeps the learning process alive. Without humility, people may refuse to admit mistakes. They protect their pride by denying responsibility. This prevents valuable lessons from entering their thinking. When you accept mistakes calmly, you free yourself from this trap. You become someone who values growth more than ego. This attitude earns respect from others. People trust individuals who acknowledge their errors honestly and work to improve. The habit of learning from mistakes also strengthens problem-solving ability. Each mistake reveals information about what does not work. When you collect this information, you eliminate ineffective approaches. Over time, your understanding becomes more refined. You begin recognizing patterns quickly. You notice which strategies produce good results and which ones require adjustment. This knowledge improves decision-making. Future choices are guided by lessons from past experiences. Mistakes, therefore, become part of a growing system of wisdom. Another benefit of this habit is emotional recovery. When people believe mistakes define their worth, they often feel discouraged for long periods. The mind stays trapped in regret, but when mistakes are treated as learning opportunities, recovery happens faster. You acknowledge what happened, you extract the lesson, you move forward with renewed clarity. This process protects your motivation. You remain focused on improvement rather than dwelling on the past. Moving forward becomes easier because each experience contributes to your development. The habit also encourages personal responsibility. Blaming circumstances or other people may feel easier in the moment, but it rarely produces growth. When you ask what you can learn from a mistake, you naturally examine your own role in the situation. This does not mean criticizing yourself harshly. It simply means recognizing the areas where your actions could improve. Responsibility empowers you. If your choices influence results, then you also have the power to create better outcomes next time. This mindset builds confidence. You begin to trust your ability to adapt and grow. Another important aspect is reflection. After a mistake occurs, take a few quiet moments to think about the situation clearly. Ask yourself questions such as, what happened? What part of the situation was under my control? What will I do differently next time? These questions transform the experience into a lesson. Writing the insight down can also be helpful. When thoughts appear on paper, they become easier to remember. The lesson stays available for future. Over time, you may notice that similar mistakes appear less frequently. Your awareness has increased. Your decisions have become more thoughtful. Each lesson quietly shapes your future behavior. Learning from mistakes also improves courage. People who fear mistakes often avoid taking risks. They stay inside familiar routines where failure feels less likely. But progress requires action. New opportunities often involve uncertainty. When you accept mistakes as part of learning, you become more willing to try new things. You understand that even if something goes wrong, the experience will still provide valuable knowledge. This courage opens doors that fear would keep closed. The world rewards individuals who continue learning and adapting. Each lesson adds another layer to your personal growth. Over months and years, these lessons accumulate into deep understanding. Your judgment becomes stronger. Your confidence becomes steady. Your ability to handle challenges improves. Looking back, you may even feel grateful for certain mistakes because they taught lessons that success alone could not provide. Every mistake carries information. Some lessons teach patience. Others teach preparation. Some reveal the importance of communication. Others remind you to trust your instincts. No experience is wasted when you choose to learn from it. Life becomes a continuous classroom where each moment offers insight. The key is maintaining the habit of reflection. Learn one small lesson from every mistake you make. That single lesson may appear small today, but collected over time, these insights build wisdom that guides your future. Wisdom strengthens your decisions. Wisdom deepens your understanding of people and situations. Wisdom prepares you for opportunities that once seemed out of reach. Mistakes are not the opposite of progress. They are often the path toward it. When you choose to learn from them, your life becomes a journey of steady growth. Every experience contributes something valuable, and with each lesson you become a wiser, stronger version of yourself. Chapter 8. Speak honestly, even when the truth feels uncomfortable. Human relationships are built on words. Every conversation carries meaning. Every sentence shapes how people understand each other. Words can strengthen trust or slowly weaken it. They can create clarity or leave confusion behind. Many people believe honesty is important, yet they often struggle when the truth feels uncomfortable. A person may soften the message too much. They may avoid the subject completely. Sometimes they say something that sounds polite, but does not reflect what they truly believe. These choices usually come from fear. Fear of hurting someone's feelings, fear of causing tension, fear of being misunderstood or judged. Avoiding the truth may seem like the safer path in the moment, yet it often creates deeper problems over time. When honesty disappears from communication, something important begins to fade. Trust grows when people believe that the words they hear are genuine. When honesty becomes uncertain, relationships lose their foundation. Conversations feel shallow. Doubt quietly. A powerful habit can protect the strength of your relationships and your own self-respect. Speak honestly even when the truth feels uncomfortable. This does not mean speaking harshly or carelessly. Honest communication is not about hurting others. It is about expressing reality with respect and clarity. There are moments in life when silence may feel easier. Imagine a situation where a friend asks for your opinion about something and perhaps they are making a decision that may not lead them in a good direction. You could simply agree to avoid tension. You could say nothing and allow the moment to pass. But honesty offers a different path. Honesty says you care enough about the relationship to speak with sincerity. You may explain your thoughts calmly. You may share your concerns respectfully. Your words may not be comfortable for the other person to hear, yet real relationships grow stronger through this kind of communication. When people know that you speak truthfully, they begin to trust your voice. They understand that your words carry meaning because they come from honesty rather than convenience. Another important reason for honest speech is personal integrity. Integrity means living in a way that aligns your actions with your values. When your words match what you truly believe, your mind experiences a sense of alignment. There is peace in that alignment. When people say things that do not reflect their real thoughts, something feels unsettled inside. The mind recognizes the difference between truth and pretense. Over time, these small moments of dishonesty can weaken confidence. But when you practice speaking honestly, your inner world becomes steadier. You know that your words represent your true perspective. That awareness builds self-respect. Honest communication also prevents misunderstandings. Many conflicts grow because people avoid direct conversations. They assume others understand their thoughts, even though those thoughts were never clearly expressed. Unspoken expectations create confusion. A person may feel disappointed because someone else failed to meet a need that was never explained openly. Speaking honestly brings clarity to these situations. You describe what you think, you explain what you need, you express what matters to you. Clarity allows people to respond appropriately. It removes the guessing that often damages relationships. Honesty also requires courage. There are times when telling the truth may bring disagreement. Someone may react defensively. They may feel surprised by your perspective. Courage allows you to remain respectful while still expressing what is real. Courage does not demand that you force your opinion on others. It simply asks that you do not hide your authentic voice. When you speak calmly and sincerely, most people eventually recognize the value of that honesty. Another important element of truthful communication is responsibility. Honesty is not about blaming others or expressing anger without control. Responsible honesty focuses on your own experience. Instead of attacking someone's character, you describe how a situation affects you. For example, you may explain that certain actions create difficulty for you. You may share how a decision influences your responsibilities. This approach keeps the conversation constructive. People are more likely to listen when they feel respected rather than accused. Honesty also strengthens emotional maturity. When you express your thoughts openly, you learn how to manage difficult conversations. You become more comfortable discussing sensitive topics. Your ability to handle complex emotions improves. You discover that discomfort during a conversation does not mean the conversation should be avoided. Often the most meaningful growth happens during these honest discussions. Another benefit appears in professional life. Work environments depend heavily on communication. Projects succeed when information flows clearly between people. When honesty is missing, mistakes can multiply. Important details may remain hidden. Problems may grow because no one speaks openly about them. A person who communicates truthfully becomes a valuable presence in any workplace. Their observations help teams improve. Their feedback supports better decisions. Their words carry credibility because others know they are sincere. Honesty also protects your long-term reputation. People may forget many small details about your life, yet they remember how trustworthy your words felt. If others believe that you speak truthfully, even during difficult situations, they begin to rely on your character. Trust takes time to build and only moments to damage. Choosing honesty consistently preserves that trust. Another important aspect of speaking truthfully is timing. Not every truth needs to be spoken immediately or impulsively. Wisdom allows you to choose the right moment and the right tone. Sometimes a conversation benefits from calm preparation. You may take time to organize your thoughts before speaking. You may consider how your words will affect the other person. Thoughtful timing allows honesty to be received more openly. Kindness also plays a role. Honesty does not remove compassion. In fact, compassion makes honest communication more effective. When you show genuine care for the person listening, they feel your intention. Even if the message feels uncomfortable, they understand that it comes from respect rather than judgment. Kind words create a safe space for truth. Another important outcome of honest speech is freedom from constant self-monitoring. When people hide their true thoughts, they must remember what they said earlier. They must keep track of their words carefully to avoid contradictions. This mental effort creates tension. Honest communication removes this burden. Your words reflect what you truly believe. There is nothing to maintain or disguise. Your mind becomes lighter because your speech and your thoughts move in the same direction. Honesty also encourages deeper connections. Surface-level conversations often stay polite but distant. Real connection grows when people share authentic perspectives. When you speak sincerely, you invite others to do the same. The conversation becomes meaningful. People begin to understand each other more clearly. This openness strengthens bonds between friends, family members, and colleagues. Learning to speak honestly requires practice. At first, it may feel uncomfortable. The mind may hesitate. Old habits of avoidance may appear. But each honest conversation builds confidence. You realize that truth spoken respectfully rarely causes the disasters people imagine. Instead, it often creates relief. Problems that remained hidden become visible and therefore solvable. Relationships that lacked clarity gain new strength. Over time, honesty becomes natural. Your voice carries calm confidence because you trust your own sincerity. You no longer feel the need to shape your words to please everyone. You focus instead on speaking truth with kindness. Life becomes simpler when your words represent reality. There is less confusion, less regret, more genuine connection. The world already contains enough misunderstanding and uncertainty. Honest communication brings clarity into that environment. It allows people to work together more effectively. It allows relationships to grow deeper. It allows you to live with integrity. Speak honestly even when the truth feels uncomfortable. Those moments of courage protect your character and strengthen the trust that surrounds your life. And trust remains one of the most valuable things a person can build. Chapter 9. Save a little money to build security and peace. Money touches almost every part of daily life. It affects where you live, how you eat, how you care for your family, and how freely you make decisions. Yet many people feel constant pressure when it comes to money. Bills arrive, expenses appear without warning, income sometimes feels smaller than the responsibilities waiting. When financial pressure becomes part of everyday life, the mind rarely rests. Thoughts about money return again and again. A person may lie down at night while their mind continues calculating costs, worrying about future expenses, and wondering how they will manage the next challenge. This kind of pressure slowly drains emotional energy. It becomes difficult to focus on personal growth, relationships, or long-term goals when the mind is always concerned about immediate survival. There is a simple habit that can slowly reduce this stress and build a stronger foundation for your future. Save a little money to build security and peace. The key phrase is a little money. Many people believe saving is only possible when they have a large income. They imagine that saving requires a dramatic amount of money set aside every month. Because their current situation feels tight, they convince themselves that saving must wait until some future time when everything improves. Unfortunately, that future often keeps moving further away. Saving is not about the size of the first step. It is about beginning the habit. A small amount saved regularly creates two powerful effects. First, it builds a financial reserve. Second, it builds a new mindset. Consider the emotional difference between a person who lives with no savings and someone who has even a modest amount stored away. The person with nothing saved feels exposed. Every unexpected expense becomes a serious problem. A broken appliance or sudden medical need creates immediate anxiety. But the person who has practiced saving experiences a different feeling. Even a small reserve creates breathing room. The mind knows there is something available if life becomes difficult. This awareness creates calm. Financial security does not appear overnight. It grows through steady discipline over time. When you save a little money regularly, you begin training your mind to think about the future. Instead of spending every dollar immediately, you start considering what tomorrow may require. This shift in thinking is extremely powerful. Many financial struggles begin because people live only for the present moment. They spend whatever arrives without considering long-term needs. Saving, you still enjoy the present, but you also respect the future. This balance strengthens your sense of control. Control over your finances leads to control over many other areas of life. Saving money also builds confidence. Every time you place a small amount aside, you prove something important to yourself. You prove that you are capable of discipline. You prove that you can make choices that protect your future. This quiet confidence grows over time. You begin to trust your ability to manage resources wisely. That trust changes how you approach opportunities and challenges. Another important benefit of saving money is freedom. Financial pressure often forces people into difficult situations. They may accept unhealthy work environments because they feel trapped. They may avoid taking risks that could improve their life because they cannot afford temporary uncertainty. Savings create options. When you have a financial cushion, you gain the ability to make decisions with greater independence. You may pursue education that improves your career. You may move to a better living environment. You may invest in tools or training that expand your abilities. These choices become possible when financial pressure decreases. Saving money also teaches patience. The modern world encourages immediate satisfaction. Advertisements constantly invite people to buy something new. Social media displays lifestyles that appear exciting and luxurious. This environment can create the impression that happiness requires constant spending. But true stability comes from thoughtful choices rather than impulse purchases. When you save money, you learn to delay certain desires. You ask yourself whether a purchase truly adds value to your life. This reflection protects you from unnecessary expenses. You become more intentional with your resources. Over time, this habit leads to better financial decisions. Another valuable effect of saving money is reduced stress during emergencies. Life rarely follows a perfectly predictable path. Unexpected events appear in every person's journey. Health issues may arise. Jobs may change. Repairs may become necessary. These situations become far less frightening when financial preparation exists. Instead of panic, you experience problem solving. Instead of feeling helpless, you begin searching for solutions. Calmly, savings transform emergencies into manageable challenges. The psychological relief created by this preparation is significant. Peace of mind is one of the greatest benefits of saving. Knowing that you have prepared for uncertainty allows your mind to relax. You no longer carry the constant fear that one unexpected event could collapse your stability. This peace allows you to focus on meaningful goals rather than daily survival. Saving also strengthens responsibility. Handling money carefully requires awareness of how it flows through your life. You begin paying closer attention to spending habits. You examine which purchases truly improve your well-being and which ones simply disappear without lasting benefit. This awareness leads to smarter choices. You may discover that small daily expenses add up quickly. A habit that seems insignificant can consume a large portion of your income over time. Recognizing these patterns allows you to adjust your behavior. You learn how to balance enjoyment with responsibility. Another important aspect of saving money is consistency. Large dramatic changes are not necessary. Small actions repeated regularly create powerful results. Saving a small amount each week may not appear impressive in the beginning, but over months and years those contributions grow steadily. The habit itself becomes part of your identity. You become someone who prepares, someone who thinks ahead, someone who values stability. These qualities influence every financial decision you make. Saving money also strengthens family security. When you have people who depend on you, your financial choices affect their well-being. A stable financial foundation provides protection for those you care about. Your ability to handle emergencies improves. Your ability to provide opportunities for your family increases. The sense of responsibility that comes with saving can deepen your commitment to long-term planning. Another benefit appears in your emotional relationship with money. People who struggle financially often experience guilt or frustration about spending. Every purchase feels stressful because it reduces limited resources. But when saving becomes part of your routine, spending decisions feel more balanced. You know that a portion of your income already serves your future. This knowledge reduces anxiety when you occasionally choose to enjoy your money. Balance replaces constant worry. The habit of saving also connects with personal discipline. Discipline grows through small repeated actions. Each time you choose to set aside money, instead of spending it impulsively, you strengthen your ability to control your behavior. This discipline extends into other areas of life. It becomes easier to maintain healthy routines. It becomes easier to pursue long-term goals. Financial discipline supports personal growth. Another important truth about saving is that it reflects self-respect. When you protect your future, you send a message to yourself that your life matters. You acknowledge that the years ahead deserve preparation. You recognize that stability is worth the effort required to build it. This mindset builds dignity. You become someone who respects the value of planning and responsibility. The journey toward financial security does not require perfection. There will be moments when unexpected expenses interrupt your plans. There may be months when saving becomes more difficult. The key is returning to the habit as soon as possible. Consistency matters more than perfection. Every small amount saved contributes to a stronger future. Over time, the results become visible. Your financial reserve grows. Your confidence increases. Your stress decreases. You begin to experience the quiet peace that comes from knowing you are prepared for life's uncertainties. Save a little money whenever you can. Protect your future step by step. Let discipline guide your choices, and allow that growing foundation of security to bring calm into your life. Chapter 10. Reflect each night and ask how you grew today. At the end of every day, something valuable sits quietly in your life. It is not money, it is not status, it is not recognition. It is something far more important: experience. Every single day you collect new experiences. You face conversations, decisions, challenges, and small victories. Some feel confusing. Some pass so quickly that you barely notice them. Yet within those moments lies the raw material for personal growth. Most people rush past the end of the day without examining what happened. They move from activity to activity until exhaustion takes over. They fall into bed, scroll through their phone, or distract themselves with entertainment until sleep arrives. The day ends without reflection. When reflection is missing, lessons remain hidden. Experiences pass by without turning into wisdom. A simple habit can transform the meaning of each day. Reflect each night and ask how you grew today. This habit requires only a few quiet minutes before sleep, yet those minutes hold tremendous power. Reflection turns ordinary experience into learning. When you pause at night and look back on the day, you begin to see patterns that were invisible during busy hours. Your mind slows down. Details return to your awareness. You remember conversations. You remember decisions. You remember moments when you handled a situation well and moments when you could have done better. Instead of judging yourself harshly, the goal is understanding. Ask yourself a gentle but powerful question. How did I grow today? Growth does not need to appear as a dramatic achievement. Often it shows itself through small improvements. Perhaps you remained patient during a difficult conversation. That patience represents emotional progress. Perhaps you completed a task that required discipline. That effort strengthened your character. Perhaps you learned something new that expanded your thinking. Each of these moments counts as growth. Recognizing them builds motivation. When people fail to notice their progress, they often feel discouraged. They believe they are standing still even when they are improving slowly. Reflection corrects this misunderstanding. You begin to see evidence that your efforts matter. Another valuable aspect of nightly reflection is awareness of mistakes. Everyone makes errors during the day. A conversation may not go well. A decision may produce unexpected results. A moment of frustration may lead to words that you wish you had chosen more carefully. Without reflection, these moments disappear without teaching you anything. But when you examine them calmly, you discover valuable insights. What could I handle differently next time? What caused that reaction? What lesson can I carry forward tomorrow? These questions turn mistakes into teachers. Instead of feeling regret, you gain understanding. Understanding leads to improvement. Reflection also strengthens gratitude. As you review the events of the day, you may notice positive moments that felt small at the time. A kind word from a friend, a productive meeting, a quiet moment of peace during a busy afternoon. Recognizing these moments reminds you that life contains many gifts that are easy to overlook. Gratitude improves emotional well-being. It shifts your focus from constant pressure to quiet appreciation. Ending the day with appreciation creates a calmer mindset before sleep. Nightly reflection also improves decision-making. When you analyze the outcomes of your actions, you begin to understand the consequences of your choices. Certain behaviors produce good results. Others create difficulty. Over time, this awareness guides your future decisions. You begin repeating the behaviors that help you grow and adjusting those that slow you down. This process strengthens wisdom. Wisdom does not appear suddenly. It grows from repeated observation of life. Reflection is the practice that allows those observations to take shape. Another powerful benefit of this habit is emotional balance. During the day, emotions move quickly. Stress may appear in the morning. Excitement may arrive in the afternoon. Frustration may appear unexpectedly. Without reflection, these emotions accumulate. Your mind carries unfinished thoughts into the night. Reflection allows those thoughts to settle. When you examine the day calmly, your mind organizes the experiences. You understand what happened and why it mattered. This mental clarity prepares your mind for rest. Sleep becomes deeper because your thoughts are no longer tangled. Another important aspect of nightly reflection is personal responsibility. When you look honestly at your day, you see how your choices shaped the results. You may notice moments where your effort created progress. You may also recognize situations where different choices would have produced better outcomes. This awareness empowers you. Instead of blaming circumstances, you recognize your ability to influence your life. Responsibility strengthens your sense of control. It reminds you that tomorrow brings another opportunity to improve. Reflection also supports long-term growth. Personal development does not occur through occasional inspiration. It grows through steady daily improvement. Each day offers opportunities to practice patience, discipline, courage, and honesty. By reflecting each night, you track that progress. You measure your growth through real experiences rather than vague hopes. Over weeks and months, you begin to see how much you have changed. The person you were yesterday becomes slightly different from the person you are today. Small improvements accumulate. Confidence grows, clarity increases, your understanding of yourself deepens. Another benefit of reflection is alignment with your values. Every person has principles that matter to them. Honesty, responsibility, kindness, discipline. During busy days, it is easy to lose sight of these values. Reflection allows you to examine whether your actions match the person you want to become. Did your behavior reflect your standards? Did you treat people with respect? Did you use your time wisely? These questions guide your character development. When your actions align with your values, you experience inner peace. When they do not align, you gain the opportunity to correct your direction. Reflection also improves focus. When you look back on your day, you may notice how your time was spent. Some activities move you closer to your goals. Others may simply fill time without creating real progress. Recognizing this difference helps you plan tomorrow more wisely. You begin protecting your time for what truly matters. Each day becomes more intentional. Another powerful effect of reflection is motivation. When you see evidence of your own growth, you feel encouraged to continue improving. Progress fuels motivation. You realize that effort produces results. Even small victories deserve recognition. Acknowledging them strengthens your commitment to the journey of self-improvement. The habit of reflection also builds patience with yourself. Growth takes time. Some days will feel productive and rewarding. Other days may feel slower. Reflection reminds you that both kinds of days are part of the process. You learn to treat yourself with understanding rather than constant criticism. Patience creates emotional resilience. You stay committed even when progress feels gradual. Nightly reflection does not require complicated tools. A quiet moment before sleep is enough. Some people prefer writing their thoughts in a notebook. Others simply sit quietly and review the day in their mind. The method is less important than the intention. The intention is to learn from each day. Ask yourself questions such as, what did I do well today? What challenged me today? What did I learn from my experiences? How did I grow as a person? These questions guide your attention toward improvement. Your awareness sharpens, your character strengthens. Every day becomes a lesson. Every experience becomes part of your education. Life begins to feel more meaningful because you recognize that nothing is wasted. Each moment contributes to the person you are becoming. As you close your day with reflection, you carry those lessons into tomorrow. Tomorrow becomes another opportunity to grow, another opportunity to improve, another opportunity to live with greater awareness. Reflect each night and ask how you grew today. Because the person who examines their life regularly is the person who continues to evolve.